Ladies and gentlemen, I know that we normally are not live on a Wednesday evening, but welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to a special edition, a special live edition of Believers Talk. We're getting ready for the Buffalo Sabres, who are out west right now, to play the Anaheim Ducks. Starts at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and I'm going to be up for the game. And I thought, what a better way to watch the game than to hang out with some fellow Buffalo Bills or Sabres fans. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about tonight during this live stream. Don't think I'll stay with you guys the whole time because, to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to be up for the whole game. Some of us have to work in the morning, so you gotta get ready for that. But I thought I'd come on here for, like I said, this special edition of Believers Talk. Again, guys, thank you for joining me. And guys, share this video, as again, we'll talk about the Buffalo Bills, who are back on the practice field. We learned today we're going to be going up against Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Miami Dolphins. So Ryan Fitzpatrick will be starting for this game for the Miami Dolphins. And guys, there's been a lot of people saying, hey, we're going to cheer Ryan Fitzpatrick, or maybe we're going to boo Ryan Fitzpatrick. We'll get into that a little bit as well. What are you going to do? Are you going to boo him? Are you going to cheer him? Are you happy to see him back in Buffalo, even though it is with a different team? Interesting. Give me a second. Huh. Why is that not coming up? Yeah, hey Anthony John, how you doing? Sabres, Bills. Absolutely. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Saw that you just commented on my Pick'em video. Guys, released the Pick'em video as I do every single Wednesday during the football season. So if you haven't checked it out, check that out. Let me know what your predictions are. Anthony John, again, I always appreciate you in here. So thank you for joining me for this edition of Believers Talk. Just having some little technical. Thank you for joining my Believers Talk. And again, we're going to talk about all kinds of things on today. Again, it's a special episode. Again, we normally don't go live on Wednesdays, so we're here live, and we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So if you want to talk about Buffalo Sabres news, Buffalo Sabres again, 5-0-1, starting off better than most people projected. Ralph Kruger has this team looking good. We'll talk about that. If you want to talk about the Buffalo Bills, who are 5-1, looking better than most people predicted. We can talk about that. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about as we get ready for the Buffalo Sabres to go play the Anaheim Ducks. I always want to say Mighty Ducks, right? Has anyone else fallen for that? I always want to say Mighty Ducks. Don't know why. If you guys are able to, NHL Center Ice is still running a free preview. So if you have the channels to get NHL Center Ice, you can check out the free preview. At least in my area, it's still a free preview. So definitely check out the game tonight between the Sabres and the Ducks. Like I said, I don't know how long it'll be live, but we'll get into that. Also want to talk about the Buffalo Bills got back to practice today. We saw that some good injury news as far as, and we thought that would happen, right? On the bye week, we thought that a lot of these players who are unhealthy would start coming back and feeling healthy again. You talk about Motor, right? You talk about Singletary. You talk about even Milano was practicing a little bit today as well, which is good to see with the hamstring injury. Talk about Ty and Seki. Talk about some other names who you can bring up in the chat if you'd like, and we could talk about them as well. Just a lot of big names coming back for the Buffalo Bills, and it's perfect timing. Guys, I know it's easy to look past the team that's 0-5 in the Miami Dolphins, but we can't do that here. We just got to stick to the course. We're 0-0 right now. We got to look towards the Miami Dolphins and make it to 1-0. That should be our only goal going into this game. A lot of people are worried that this Buffalo Bills team is going to look past the Dolphins. And I've been telling people all week, if this game was in Miami, would definitely scare me a little bit more. Since we're home, coming out of a bye, I think this coaching staff will have this Buffalo Bills team ready to go. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think the score is going to be this Sunday as the Buffalo Bills play the Miami Dolphins? And guys, don't forget, if you don't already know, the Believers Talk will be right here on YouTube Sunday, giving you live play-by-play and reaction to that game. So if you're unable to catch the game, or if you just want to come in here and chat with fellow Buffalo Bills fans, we're open to that, and I look forward to doing that with you. So come on here Sunday, 1 o'clock, for the game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Join me, and we'll go ahead and talk about some Buffalo Bills football. I always look forward to those streams, and I appreciate everyone who comes out for those streams. Again, guys, if you haven't already, share this video, like this video, let people know we're out here. I know it's a Wednesday night, it's late on the East Coast, but that just means we're getting things started on the West Coast. Obviously, 9:42. The Sabres game starts at 10, and like I said, I'll be watching the Sabres game. Who better to watch it with some of the greatest fans in the world, Bills Mafia, Sabres Mafia, if you want to call them that as well. I have everything up right now, looking at Buffalo Rumblings, looking at Twitter, seeing what news is going on, and just giving you guys access to that in any way, shape, or form, just to keep you guys up to date on what's going on in Buffalo. Also, trade news, right? Talking about in the NFL, some big trades. Talking about Jalen Ramsey being traded to the Rams from the Jaguars. What does this mean for those teams? Does this affect the Buffalo Bills in any way? Everyone was talking about these cornerbacks and how valuable they are right now. I mean, you see what deal Jalen Ramsey might get. You look at our star cornerback and say, what kind of money is he going to seek? You might think about re-signing him now before it gets way out of hand, right? You want to re-sign him, get him under contract before it gets out of hand. Of course, I'm talking about Tre'Davious White. I look forward to talking more about Tre'Davious White. I hope he's a Bill for a long time. Let me know what you think about Tre'Davious White. Levi Wallace is playing a significant role in this defense early on in the season, guys. Maybe it's time to sign him to a multi-year contract just to keep him under wraps for the Buffalo Bills. Now, of course, you can talk about our secondary. You can talk about our safeties and Hyde and Poyer. Great safeties. Probably it's two of the most underrated safety tandem in the NFL. So what does that mean for this position for the Buffalo Bills moving forward? As far as Tre'Davious White is concerned, we know he's going to seek big money. So are we, and I think Hashtag Sports covered this, and guys, again, Billievers Talk teaming up with Hashtag Sports to give you the best Buffalo Bills play-by-play and reaction every single game. Like I said, I'll be joining you this Sunday for the Miami Dolphins game. I will be in Buffalo for the game against the Philadelphia Eagles, so I hope you guys can join me if you can. Let me know if you're going to the game, if you're tailgating, where you're sitting. Would love to hang out with some fans of the channel. Would love to thank you guys in person if I can. Also, we'll be with Hashtag Sports on Saturday when they go to the to get the autograph signing that we're going to. If you go over to Hashtag Sports, they'll have more about that on their webpage. I look forward to being there as well. So if you guys can join us for that, that's awesome. Meet some current and former Buffalo Bills. I know Ed Oliver will be there. I know Devin Singletary will be there. Duke Williams is going to be there. Our boy who we just talked about, Trey White, is going to be there, and more, right? So come on out, get some stuff autographed if you have some stuff you want to get autographed, or just come hang out, say hi, and be a part of what will be a fun day there. So again, I'll be there the Saturday before the Eagles game. Then I'll be in Buffalo for the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So if you're coming, hit that like button, Anthony John. Absolutely, guys. If you're in the channel, hit that like button. Currently says 7 people in the channel. Gang, guys, share this video. Normally we're not on here on Wednesdays. Normally we're on here on Wednesday? Today's still Wednesday. Normally we're live on Mondays during Monday Night Football. We go live at halftime to discuss the game that was normally the day before, right? The Sunday game before. We go live to talk about that, give you a post-game wrap-up, if you will, on Thursday during Thursday Night Football. So tomorrow, during halftime of Thursday Night Football, we will be going live as well to preview the game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Always go live on Thursdays to preview the upcoming game. On Friday, I try to give you an injury report, let you know who's healthy, who's a scratch, who was in practice, who might be questionable. All those questions answered on Friday right here on Billievers Talk. And then, of course, on Sunday, whether it be me, Joe from Billievers Talk, or Mario and Paul from Hashtag Sports, have you covered for live play-by-play and reaction. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and after you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Notifies you when we are going live. And guys, if you just joined me again, the Sabres are out west, baby. Let's go Buffalo Sabres all day. So while the Sabres are out west, what are we going to do? We're going to stay up a little bit later. We're going to watch the game, get on here, talk to some other Buffalo sports fans. Whether you're a fan of the Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Sabres, both, Either way, let me know in the comment section who you're a fan of. If the Sabres are not your hockey team, maybe you're an Islanders fan, a Rangers fan, or maybe you're not from the Buffalo area and you're a fan of another hockey team, or maybe you forgot that hockey was a sport and so you don't watch. We can also talk about, speaking of new sports, we can talk about the XFL draft. XFL draft just happened. We actually saw a former Buffalo Bull, and Tyree Jackson get drafted by Washington. So we'll look at him in the XFL, see what he brings to the table in 2020. I was not anticipating watching too much XFL football, but now that I saw Tyree Jackson was drafted in the XFL, might lead me to watch a little bit more. Tyree Jackson, of course, the Buffalo Bull quarterback, the guy who was signed by the Buffalo Bills as an undrafted free agent, was on the roster for when it was at 90 guys, was one of those cuts that got us down to 53. But I look forward to watching him as he plays in the XFL. So again, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the share button, let people know we're here, and we'll talk about all the Buffalo sports you want. Again, 10 o'clock coming up here shortly, and we will watch the game between the Buffalo Sabres and the Anaheim Ducks. I'm looking forward to, again, the Buffalo Sabres 5-0-1 on the young season. This is their first West Coast trip. Play 3 or 4 games out west. We end the West Coast trip playing against the San Jose Sharks in San Jose, and then they come back to Buffalo about 2 or 3 days later, and it's a home and home series, but there's a few days in between, and then they play us in Buffalo. So again, guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, teaming up with BewareTheStampede.com, and guys, special announcement from BewareTheStampede.com. New things coming around the bend, and one of those is a podcast. Spoke with Jeremy, and he assured me that this weekend the podcast will be up and running. So check that out if you haven't already. www.BewareTheStampede.com. Go there for all of your Buffalo Bills news. So again, teaming up with BewareTheStampede.com. Always good to hang out with those guys. Look forward to seeing them when I'm down for the Eagles game as well. Hanging out with Hashtag Sports. 2 good guys there, Mario and Paul. If you haven't checked them out, if you haven't subscribed to their channel, be sure to do so. As again, they're always giving great content as well. Waiting for the Buffalo Sabres, Anaheim. Again, I always want to say Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Great movie, but they're just called the Ducks now. Anaheim Ducks game starting at 10 o'clock Eastern, currently 9:50 on the East Coast. Kings tomorrow. Yeah, and I'm not a fan of playing back-to-back days, especially in hockey. Baseball, you can get away with it a little more, not as physical as a sport. But when you're talking about playing back-to-back days, I'm not sure if the Kings play today. I'll check that right now, actually. But when we have to play back-to-back days and they get the day off or a couple days off, they don't play today. So when they get that extra day of rest or two, it kind of makes me a little bit worried because, again, in hockey, you get bumps and bruises. It seems like every game, right? You're always getting checked. You're skating, which I can't even skate on ice, so to see them skate backwards is quite amazing. I know so many people who say that they're the most athletic. Hockey's the most athletic sport. I don't know if I agree with that, but I think that it's a very athletic sport, and I think they do a great job. So I won't bash them at all. But yeah, whenever you have a game today and that's followed up shortly with a game the next day, I think that does not bode well for us, especially when they're both on the road. Obviously, we don't want to play out west and then come play east back-to-back games. I don't think that's something that the NHL would want either. But if you're playing both games in Buffalo, then it might be a little bit easier to get back-to-back wins. So I would love to see back-to-back wins here between the Ducks and the Kings, but I just don't know if that's realistic. The Ducks are 4-2 on the young season, so they're off to a pretty good start as well. And then you look at the Kings, and the Kings, I believe, have a worse record than that, but I'll double-check that in a second here. Yeah, so the Kings are actually down at the bottom of the West. and at 2-4 in their first 6 games. So hopefully we can get away with the win today, and then maybe we can surprise some people and get a win tomorrow. Depends a lot on goaltending, right? We figure Hutton's gonna start one of these games. Olmark will probably start tomorrow in net, so to give them a little bit of rest. So it depends on our goalies. How well will they do? As I get ready, guys, I haven't even shared this on Twitter yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and share this on Twitter. And if you are new to the channel, you know that I cannot do 2 things at once. Me doing 2 things at once is absolutely impossible. So if you don't hear me chatting like I normally do, because I don't know how to keep my mouth shut sometimes, it's because I'm trying to do something else and I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. So how can I post something on Twitter and talk to you guys at the same time? But thank you for sticking with me as I share this video. Again, just getting started here. Sabres game starting in about 8 minutes. I look forward to that. And we could talk some Sabres. We could talk some Bills, or maybe let's call it an early night. That's fine too. I don't mind at all. Like I said, we normally don't plan on going live on Wednesday, so this is new. Just thought I'd get on here and hang out with you guys for a little bit. West Coast trip. Again, just ran this on Twitter. Hashtag Bills. Hashtag Sabres. Buffalo. Oh, Sabres 50. Still haven't gotten my 50th jersey yet. I'm looking to get that. Again, I really like the gold jerseys with the number 50 on it. That's really cool. So I might do that here shortly as well. Just order that up. Just wrapping up this tweet. All right. So again, guys, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk. Again, normally don't go live on Wednesday, so I didn't know against the Ducks. Jogetta Black, thank you for joining me. Sean McDermott reveals secret to Bills' defense success. Well, I think it's not much of a secret, to be honest with you. I think the success is based on our 2 coaches there, right? You talk about head coach and Coach McDermott, and you talk about Leslie Frazier, two great defensive mind coaches. We knew, we were pretty sure at least the moment that we signed, or we signed Coach McDermott as our new head coach. We knew that he'd get that defense back in shape. They had Leslie Frazier as a defense coordinator, a guy who has spent some time as a head coach, and rumors have it he's one of those who are rumored to be one of the top candidates for another head coaching job. And I'm not surprised by that. Again, you're talking about a top 5 defense, probably 2 years in a row. You're talking about a guy who was a head coach, probably got a raw deal when he was coaching in Minnesota. Maybe got let go a little bit too early, but that's old news, of course. Where would he fit as the next coach somewhere, head coach somewhere? There's a lot of places that might be looking for a new head coach soon. We had 8 guys get fired last season at the end of the year. So if we have 8 jobs available, there can't be too many coaching candidates that are above Lovie Smith. Although I like Lovie Smith too, above Leslie Frazier. I think he's a great coaching candidate. But you talk about this defense, just a lot of weapons, right? We built through the defensive line. The defensive line is strong. And then, of course, we have a great secondary. You talk about Trey White. You talk about Poyer. You talk about Hyde. Just a great way to start off this team. And then who's your captain on that defense? You're talking about Tremaine Edmonds. Your middle linebacker is normally the guy who controls that defense, the ebb and flows of a defense, checks out the offense, is able to read the offense, and get you in the best position to succeed. We like the length Tremaine Edmonds gives us at the middle linebacker position. We saw what Coach McDermott did with Luke Kuechly. Now, Luke Kuechly is still doing it. It wasn't like Coach McDermott did it, but at the same time, you have to make sure they're in the right position to succeed. And that's what Coach McDermott, that's what Leslie Frazier, that's what they're doing. Hurricanes jumped in front of us yesterday, beating the Kings. So the Hurricanes are in front in the Eastern Conference. That's again, it's early in the season. I don't want to get too excited. Remember last November, we won 10 games in a row, and it didn't turn out too well for us. So 5-0-1, better than 0-5-1, but at the same time, still a lot of hockey left to be played. But that doesn't mean we can't get a little excited here. We can't get a little excited for our Buffalo Sabres. Again, we're not used to too much success from the Sabres, just because, again, 8-year playoff drought. That's hard to come by now. Again, as we talked about before, with Jack Eichel and Jeff Skinner being one of the highest paid tandems in the NHL, we need to see results, and we are. Early on, we're seeing results. I mean, you talk about this Buffalo Sabres power play, one of the best in the NHL, if not the best in the NHL. You talk about that first line of power play led by Jack Eichel. That is probably one of the best power play lines in the NHL today, at least in the early going. You talk about Johansson, 5 of his 6 goals this season have come on the power play, something like that. I mean, it's unreal what this Buffalo Sabres team is doing on the power play. So it's really good to see. I think Ralph Krueger is doing a good job so far, which is surprising to me. If you watched what I talked about in the preseason, I talked about Ralph Krueger and how I wasn't sure how good of a signing it was. Well, early on, he's proved me wrong. We have young skaters skating hard. We have good passing for the most part. That Columbus game in the first 2 periods, that was a little tough to watch, especially the first period. Looked like we were playing a little sloppy. They got out to a 2-0 lead. And we showed some resolve in that game. And if there's anything that Buffalo sports have shown us so far, whether it be the Bills, who have 4 either game-winning or come from behind wins already this season, or game-winning drives, I should say, this season, or it be the Sabres, who have a couple come from behind wins already this season as well. We're seeing a lot of resolve right now by these Buffalo teams, and that's always good to see, especially early on, because that means if you get behind the 8 ball in these later games, especially in hockey, when you talk about April or March, you get behind early, you know that you have the resolve to come back and win those games. So that's important to never give up. I know it's all this cliche crap that no one likes, but it's all true. The reason why it's cliche is because people have been saying it for so long. The reason people have been saying it for so long is because it's true. I was watching NFL Network is doing like a roundtable, and they were doing it on the defensive ends. And of course, the best defensive end, in my opinion, in the NFL to ever do it, Bruce Smith, was part of that round table. I thought it was a great table. You had Reggie White, you had Reg White from Dallas, I should say. You had Bruce Smith, you had Jason Taylor, you had Michael Strahan, and you had Howie Long. Just a great table. Would have been fun to be at. But Bruce Smith said, the secret to being a success in the NFL is not a secret. It's been there. It takes hard work, dedication, and of course the athletic ability has to be there as well. Anthony John. Hey, I'm sorry, Elder 12, how you doing? Just quickly stop by, say hi and bye. Hey, always good to see you on here. I know you're out west as well. I don't know how big of a hockey fan you are, but hopefully you can watch some hockey, maybe enjoy it. But if you're still watching the Seahawks, if you watch my prediction video, I have the Seahawks beating Baltimore this weekend at home. I know you're a big Seahawks fan, so best of luck to you. Off to a great season. Russell Wilson off to an MVP caliber season. Hopefully, he can keep it up for you guys out west. We don't play you guys until maybe the Super Bowl if you guys make it that far, but we'll see what happens the rest of the way. But a great start for your Seahawks. Not sure how big you're a Canucks fan. Well, they're where are they at in the standings throughout the season? They're doing good, they're doing bad. I actually don't know. It's hard for me to keep track out west because again, when you're out east here, it doesn't they're third, they're spot behind the wild card to start things off, but they've only played 5 games. Calgary's played 7, so you have 2 games in hand. So off to a mediocre start for the Canucks, but best of luck to your Canucks out west. Like I said, when you're out east here, you normally don't stay up too late to watch the West Coast games unless your team's out there. Gonna be a late week as we are out west for I think about 4 games as we play today. Again, we play the Kings tomorrow, and then we might even play Canucks on this series, and then we stop. The last game's in San Jose, then San Jose comes back out east and plays the Sabres in Buffalo, so we look forward to that. Anthony John says Hutton. I don't know why he says Hutton, but he says Hutton. I probably messed up someone's name. I'm not surprised there either. I do that a lot. But that was the previous coach, wasn't it? Are you talking about the goalie? Goalie starting tonight. Let's get into that, as it is 10 o'clock now. So let's get into that game, see who is the starter for tonight. probably already announced before that today. It's Allmark starting. So Linus Allmark is getting the start today. 1-0-1 so far this season. This will be his third start. 2.86 goals allowed, 0.931 save percentage. And guys, early on in last season, the Buffalo Sabres goaltending was doing pretty well. As well. Hutton plays tomorrow against the Kings. Hutton, of course, currently. So, Alexi Brills, thanks a lot, L12, and thanks for stopping by. Always good to see you. And best of luck to your Seahawks as well. Again, we'll see you in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. But yeah, have a great night. But again, it's only like what 7 o'clock there. I think you're in. You're not completely out west though, so it might be 8 o'clock where you are. But either way, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good one. Thanks a lot, Elder 12. But yeah, so again, guys, the Sabres game just getting ready to start, just getting underway. So I'm going to pull that up here and keep you guys up to date as we continue to talk 8 o'clock. Yeah. So as we continue to talk Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Sabres, I'll continue to keep you up to date on the Sabres as the game's going on. Again, the Sabres starting their West Coast trip today, so that means we're up a little later than we normally are. So thought I'd come on here and hang out with you guys. John Conforto, go Dolphins. Well, if you are a Dolphins fan, I don't think you are, but maybe you are. If you're a Dolphins fan, you hope that this tank job is the right thing to do. I'm still confused about some of the moves that the Dolphins made. I know that they weren't going to be good this year, but I'm still a little confused about the Tunsil move. I think Tunsil is a young talent at left tackle who, you're going to need a left tackle in this rebuild, and I don't know why Tunsil wasn't that. I think Bills San Fran Super Bowl. Hey, that could happen too, and that would make Chris Berman happy, right? Chris Berman was calling for the San Francisco Buffalo Bills Super Bowl since the '90s, so he'll be excited about that to see that one now that he's back with ESPN. I was always a huge Chris Berman fan. Glad that they got him and Tom Jackson, even though Tom Jackson's been on the shelf for the past couple weeks with an injury. But I'm glad that they got them back together to NFL primetime. That was back when ESPN was good, and I really enjoyed that. I actually haven't been able to catch them yet this year, so hopefully I'll be able to catch them soon. But I'm too busy doing this. I'm too busy keeping you guys up to date on the Buffalo Bills. Normally Sunday after the game, what I'll do after I hang out with the family for a little bit, I rewatch the game. Even during, I don't get to watch Sunday Night Football that much because I'm rewatching the game. I'm taking notes, figuring out what we did well, what we did wrong. I'll always go over things we did right, things we did wrong in my post game on Monday. And again, I try to remove emotion. A lot of Bill streams, including hashtag sports. Again, love that channel. They go live the day of the game. I feel like your emotions are still high after the game. I like to watch the game with very little emotion attached. Just know what happened and read each play as it is, as it's going on, and see what's going on. And besides, when you're watching the game live, you're kind of watching the play as it happens. What you do in officiating, what I've learned over the years, is you don't watch the ball. You watch off the ball and see what's happening behind the play, see where things might have gone wrong. And it's fun to watch that as a fan to kind of get an in-depth look of what's going on with the Buffalo Bills. So I'm only doing that on Sunday nights, and then after that on Sundays, normally I get ready for bed. So if Sunday Night Football is still going on, I'll watch that. But if Sunday Night Football is getting over, or the game's out of hand, then I'll just go to bed and get ready for Monday morning. So again, guys, the Buffalo Sabres game just getting underway. Allmark the starter for today's game. Again, he is 1-0-1 on the season. Just pulling up his stats. What games? So he played against Florida. His last game was on October 11th. So he played. No, that was the Sabres' last game, wasn't it? No, that was his last game, October 11th. So that was his last game. So he's playing again today. Again, we have a back-to-back out west, and so Hutton will be playing. Is expected to play net tomorrow against the Kings. Today it's Allmark. So that's what we are getting ready for. Again, the Buffalo Sabres against the Anaheim Ducks. Again, thank you guys for joining me on Billievers Talk. If you are new, go ahead and hit that like button.
hit that subscribe button and share this video. Again, we normally don't go live on Wednesdays, but due to this West Coast trip, we went ahead and went live here for a little bit. Not sure again how long I'll be staying on here. Now that the Sabres game has started, might want to sit back, relax, and enjoy the game. I got some things to do at home first before I can go just relax. So, and again, it is getting late, right? I mean, some of us work in the morning, so we can't stay up too late. But again, looking forward to the game. I hope you are too. I thank you guys for joining me on this late night stream. Bills going defeated now. Motor Knox, Duke, Allen, every player is bad on our team. You know, we hope that our offense does better coming out of the bye week, right? We hope that this offense, especially, we know this defense is going to be legit the rest of the season, right? If there's one thing this defense has shown us is that it's going to be one of the top defenses in the league this year, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. You know, I think about all the guys that we have under contract. I know we might lose Alexander this year. That would be a little bit of a big blow, but we have some good guys on this team. We needed the bye. Absolutely. No, absolutely right, Anthony. You know, we needed the bye when we had it. You know, you look at the schedule in the preseason, you see a week 6 bye, like, oh, that's a little too early. I mean, it wasn't week 4, right? It wasn't week 4 like the 49ers, I believe the Jets. It wasn't week 5 like the Dolphins or another team. So week 6, a little bit earlier than you like, but I forget who it was, but I was watching a YouTube, I think it was the Louis T Network, and again, another great YouTube channel. But I was watching him, and he said, you know, some NFL players like the week 5, week 6 bye, because if you include training camp, it is kind of halfway through their season, right? You have a month of training camp or so, and then you start the season, and then you get in through, you know, week 4, week 5. You're talking about the midway point for a lot of these guys. So the younger guys especially like that young bye week. And it all depends on health, right? The Bills were just getting banged up, so it was good to get this bye week out of the way now, get healthy again. We want to see Matt Milano out there. He's dealing with his hamstring injury, so we hope that he gets better and gets healed up so he can be a full participant in practice later this week and then hopefully play this Sunday. But against the Miami Dolphins, you're thinking in your head, hopefully if he does stay out, this team can still be successful at doing what they do. Again, Coach McDermott and Leslie Frazier do a great job at putting players in position to succeed. So no matter who is in that spot, hopefully they put them in the right position to succeed. So again, I look forward to watching this game this Sunday. We will be live streaming right here against the Miami Dolphins. So if you're already subscribed to YouTube, you can go over to Sportscaster, link in the description below. If you're not following me on Twitter, we tweet about the Buffalo Sabres, Buffalo Bills, and all Buffalo sports news on Twitter. So again, follow me down in the link below as well. Just threw it out there that we're live to get some more people on here as the Buffalo Sabres are getting ready or have started their game against the Anaheim Ducks. So I'll keep you posted on that when I see a score or see if anything happens. But right now, still 0-0 in that game. So we're looking forward to a good West Coast trip. I believe that as I look at the Buffalo Sabres schedule, there are 4 games out west, which starts tonight, of course, with the Anaheim Ducks. Then we have the Kings. It's only 3 actually, and then Saturday we play the Sharks. Then our next game is Tuesday on October 22nd, again against the Sharks, but that at home. Then we have 2 more away games before we finish out the month in Buffalo playing the Arizona Coyotes. So that's our remaining schedule for the month. You know, if I would love to see us go, you know, 4-3. I think that would be in that stretch. Or even 5-2, that would be pretty cool to see as well. But we're starting this West Coast trip. The Thursday and Saturday games don't start till 10:30 p.m. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to stay up that late for those games. Again, not even sure if I'll be able to stay up for this game here. But I look forward to watching at least the parts that I do get to watch and maybe see some good Buffalo Sabres hockey. And guys, that's been rare over the past 8 seasons. To see this team playing well, again, Ralph Kruger starting off proved me wrong. And having this team playing well early, again, hopefully that can continue throughout his tenure, and we can become a viable playoff threat, not just a team that makes the 8 seed, even though this year I think I'd be happy with an 8 seed, but not just a team that makes the 8 seed, scratches in, and then is eliminated in the first round every year, but maybe a team that just keeps getting better and better and better, and then all of a sudden, the Buffalo Sabres are a contender. Again, guys, last season,
towards the end of 2018, I believe it was, maybe in the beginning of 2019, I predicted on this very channel that the city of Buffalo will have 2 championships in the next 10 years. Now, I don't know if that will be the Sabres. I don't know if that will be the Bills. I don't know if that will be a combination of the two of them. But I do believe that the city of Buffalo will have 2 major sports championships in the next 10 years. Now, again, I don't know who that will be by those 2 sports. You let me know who you think. Do you think the Buffalo Bills are closer to a Super Bowl appearance, or you think the Sabres are now on the right track to win the Stanley Cup? Again, let me know in the comment section. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and check it out on this channel afterwards. I do a little bit of a breakdown. I do also talk about the Buffalo Bulls, both football and in basketball. The football team yet to win a bowl game, so we're looking to get over that hump. Although I think we're 2-4 to start the season, so we'll see how well we do. Maybe we come back. We play Akron Zips, I believe, this Saturday. We're favored in that game, so hopefully we can come out with the win. This past season, Buffalo Bulls made March Madness tournament. We had 4 or 5 seniors, I believe, graduate. 3 of them were on the starting lineup, so we hope that this team can continue to do well. But with the loss of those seniors, you wonder what's going to be left for this team. And then the Lady Bulls team also made the NCAA tournament, but they lost one of their key players in Sarah Dillon, I want to say her name was. But anyway, we lost one of our key players there, so you want to look out to see what the Buffalo Bulls women team can do when it comes to tournament time as well. Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott made Bills defense best. I never seen. Keep pushing. Yeah, absolutely. Keep pushing. That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. Even if we lose Leslie Frazier this offseason, I'm sure that Coach McDermott has someone in the wings ready to go. If we lose Dable, if we have to get rid of Dable this offseason, you gotta believe that Ken Dorsey is going to take over as the offensive coordinator. I'm pretty sure that Coach McDermott has someone ready to go if Leslie Frazier is to get a head coaching job. Because again, we can't blame Leslie Frazier for taking a head coaching job. Everyone would do it if they had it. If they had the opportunity. But we have to be ready for that. We have to be ready. Still 0-0 in the game. 17 minutes left in the first period. We have to be ready for that if we're Buffalo Bills fans. We have to be ready for us to lose some coaches, especially if our defense keeps playing at the level it's playing at, and there's no reason to think it won't. We got the star power on defense to do that, and we have a good coaching staff. So as long as those things stay there, I think we're going to be just fine come the start of next season again. But we have to start with this season. Hopefully it's a playoff season. We look at the schedule now and we say, hey, this team should have a road to the playoffs. I'm not going to say easy, but a very maybe easy is the best word, but what looks like an easy schedule coming up. And so we'll see what happens there with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, obviously we have this week. We have this week against the Dolphins, then the following week against the Eagles, then we got the Redskins, then we got the Browns, then we got the Dolphins again. It's easy to see us be 4-1 after that stretch. At worst, you'd like to say we're 3-2 after that stretch, and even at 3-2, that puts us at 7-3 for the season with plenty of games to go, with 6 games left. I think that puts us in a decent spot as well to make the playoffs, and that's hopefully worst case scenario at 3-2. If you look at those games, you want to say we'll beat the Dolphins twice, although we know it's a division rival. We know that we have to play them in third place as well. But you just think that this Miami Dolphins team is ready to lose. It almost seems like they want to lose sometimes. So we'll see what happens with them. Look at the Cleveland Browns, a little bit of a mess recently. We'll see if they're ready to go. That game's in Cleveland, so it could add a different element to that game. You talk about the Redskins, again, another team. I know they got a win against the Dolphins last week. They just fired their head coach. Maybe this team will play better, but that's another game we should win in Buffalo. And they got the Eagles, and that's going to be a toss-up game as well. The Eagles have a tough matchup, divisional matchup against the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday night. Should be a good one to watch, but what will be left in the tank to come to Buffalo and play the Buffalo Bills? We know how tough it is, back-to-back road games, in the NFL, and the Eagles will be doing that. They'll be traveling home from Dallas, and they'll be practicing, getting ready, and then they'll travel to Buffalo, and it's not that long of a travel from Philly to Buffalo, maybe 8 hours or so, and that's by car. So, but it's still taking time away from other things you can be doing. It's still taking away from your family. You're not sleeping in your own bed. You're sleeping in a hotel, probably a place you haven't been to in a few years, right? You only play the Eagles. You only play that division once every 4 years, and then they're only home every other time. So talking about the Eagles not being in Buffalo for 8 years, 7 years, so they're not used to the elements there. Next week it might be a little cold. It's getting into late October, early November. You know how those Buffalo fall, winter, and springs can be. It's gonna snow all the time, so you never know what the weather's gonna be like November or late October, I should say, in Buffalo. So we'll see what happens with the Eagles game, but the rest of the games on the schedule, you think, man, we really should win those games. Again, winning back-to-back-to-back home or back-to-back-to-back games in the NFL is always tough, but I think we have the schedule to pull that off. And then again, if we go 4-1 in that stretch, then you're looking at a team that's now 8-2, and they're getting into the home stretch of their schedule. Still some games on the schedule that are winnable. You talk about the Steelers, with losing Big Ben. That's a winnable game. You talk about the Ravens. The Ravens haven't looked as great the past couple weeks. That's going to be a winnable game. I know they beat Cincinnati, but they beat Cincinnati by less than a touchdown. That should be a potentially winnable game there. The Denver Broncos, it's in Denver. That's a little bit no, that's actually in Buffalo. So maybe a little bit easier there. Then of course we have Dallas Thanksgiving Day. I look forward to that game. We'll stream that game right here on Believers Talk. So after you have some turkey, have some fun with your family, join us right here on Believers Talk as we give you live play-by-play coverage of the game with the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills. And then of course you have your division matchup still against New England and the Jets to end out the season. Evil Crazy says, watch us go 14-2. I would love to go 14-2. In fact, someone was talking to me the other day and said, watch the Buffalo Bills go 14-2, and the only two losses are to New England. I would hate to lose New England both times. But wouldn't that be something? We finished 14-2 and with a 5 seed, right? With a 5 seed, with the second best record in the AFC, that would lead to a fun playoff matchup. But unfortunately, we wouldn't have a home playoff game. Would love to see the Bills get a home playoff game. That would just be awesome. That would be fun to see Buffalo. I think to see Buffalo deserves a home playoff game, and we haven't had a home playoff game since the mid '90s, right? So I think '96 was our last home playoff game. So would love to see that for the city of Buffalo. I think that would be a great game to be at. Obviously, January in Buffalo. Obviously, the elements would be in our favor a little bit there. But you just never know what to expect in Buffalo there. But welcome, Evil Crazy. How you doing? Good to have you on the stream. It would be cool then beat them in the AFC Championship game. Hey, if that's what it takes to beat them in the AFC Championship game, that would be awesome, guys. I'm not sure how the coverage would go on here, but I'm sure we would cover it in some facet, whether it be me here on Believers Talk or hashtag sports. I'm pretty sure we'd have you covered there, so you want to make sure you check us out for that. That'd be a lot of fun. Still 0-0 in the Sabres game, 12 and a half minutes to go in that one, so that's going to be a good one, hopefully a tight one, as the Ducks got off to a hot start this season too, 4-2 in their first 6 games. Sabres obviously 5-0-1 in their first 6 games. They were leading these. The Sabres just scored a goal, so Buffalo Sabres go on top early, 1-0. Buffalo Sabres over the Ducks. I'll tell you who scored here in a second. All we got to do is win out and pound New England. What's the problem? Hey, David, how you doing? Hey, we can hope for that, right? We can, again, if we take this one game at a time, there's no reason to think we can't win it and stay healthy. Yeah, Evil Crazy, absolutely want to stay healthy. Believe it or not, Jets game week 17, I see our only loss, resting our guys for a Super Bowl push. If we finish 14-2, and the Jets game is our only loss, I'm guessing that means we have the division wrapped up at that point. Would love that. Would absolutely love that. Obviously, we would beat New England week 16, which would be awesome. And then we'd have the division wrapped up by that time, is what you guys are saying. And if that were my fantasy, that would be what it would be. So we hope that would be the case. The Buffalo Bills beat the Patriots week 16 and have that division wrapped up. Jack Eichel, who else with the goal? Jack Eichel makes it 1-0 Buffalo. 12:25 to go in the first period, and the Buffalo Sabres are now up 1-0 on the Anaheim Ducks. Jack Eichel with a goal to start off the scoring, his 4th goal of the season. And again, like we said earlier, between Eichel and Skinner, you're talking about the highest paid tandem in the NFL, need to start showing up. Well, Eichel has done that to start this season, has done a great job. Skinner's been all right. Skinner's been all right. Not getting as many points, but doing a lot of the heavy lifting for other young talent to get the points. So good to see Skinner helping out, even if he's not scoring, and good to see Eichel taking the lead as the captain of this team. Obviously, getting older, another year older in this league. I think this is the 4th year in the league already, maybe 5th year in the league already, and doing his thing. So way to go, Jack Eichel. Anthony John Joe, what up? I still think Barkley would beat the Jets with the second string. Possibly, he did it last year, right? Last year we beat the Jets. Barkley beat the Jets was a 41-10. So it could happen again. Week 16, primetime 8 p.m. game for New England division. I'm telling you, I would love that. Sunday night, you talk about the game between the New England Patriots being put into the prime time slot. That would be awesome to see that live stream here on Believers Talk. And yeah, it would just be a fun way to end the season, or at least, right before the end of the season. So we'll have you covered right here on Believers Talk or hashtag sports for every single play-by-play, guys. Again, hashtag sports. We'll have the Eagles game coming up in 2 weeks. I'll have the Dolphins game, and I'll have the 2 weeks after that. I think that's the Washington Redskins, and then the Cleveland Browns, and then they'll have the next game for you, which I believe would be the Denver Broncos game. So that's the schedule right now. It's basically going 1-2-1. If you're not sure who's doing the game, again, link in the description below for sportscaster.com. We'll be live streaming from there, whether it be me or Mario and Paul from hashtag sports will be on Sportscaster. Some fun interactive things on Sportscaster, and also it's more real time. So on YouTube, if you don't know, there is that little bit of a delay, right? Maybe a play behind, where on Sportscaster it's only 1 second. So by the time you see it and then you're listening, we're already talking about it. So go over to Sportscaster and hang out with us there. Either way, we'll have a good time. And it's not hard to sign up on Sportscaster. You can watch as a guest, which is really cool. But if you want to engage in comments, things like that, just register, use your email. It's easy to do. Can we tear down the opposing team's goal? I don't think they will allow that. It's not like the 70s when you can just run onto the field. It's a little harder to do in today's game. I know in basketball, college basketball, they seem to do it all the time. But it's not that easy anymore at the pro levels for safety reasons, obviously. But that'd be really cool to see the Buffalo Bills Mafia storm the field and take down the New England Patriots goal. That'd be pretty cool. Sabres are really good too. So pumped. Absolutely. Sabres, like I said, up 1-0. Eichel scores to put the Sabres up 1-0. And it looks like with 10:39 to go in the first period, they're still up 1-0. So that's really good to see. Guys, this past Sunday, my stream health for my live stream did go off for a minute. By a minute, I mean probably the whole second half. But I was live streaming a non-Buffalo Bills game since we were on bye. So I do want to make sure that gets straightened out before this Sunday. So what you might see, whether it be tonight, later tonight, tomorrow, or even Saturday, you might see me do some testing on here just to make sure things are working. If you see me live, it's just me probably testing. I'll put test in the subject line, or maybe I'll go to my personal YouTube account and do it on there. So I have some plans to make sure that doesn't happen this Sunday for the Buffalo Bills Miami Dolphins game, because I don't want you to miss a second of the action. Again, there might be that second delay because of YouTube, but other than that, I don't want you to miss any of the action. I want to be able to interact with all you guys for the game this Sunday. Again, always good to squish the fish, right? That's why I put in the thumbnail. I always enjoy watching us beat up on the Miami Dolphins, whether it be in Buffalo or in Miami. I look forward to it every single time. Want to go ahead and get you guys some information here. So if you don't know already, and in fact, I want to see if that Eichel goal was. So the Buffalo Sabres have the best score differential currently in the NHL. So that's really cool. That's not a statistic that the Sabres are used to being in top of. Again, with 8-year playoff drought, it's hard to be top in that category. But even just to be in the plus in that category for the Buffalo Sabres has been rough for the past few seasons. So to see that we were, to go into this game, we were, I believe, at plus 12. So now with this goal up 1-0, we're up plus 13. Again, Buffalo Sabres just coming off a shutout. Wouldn't it be cool to have back-to-back shutouts against a team like the Anaheim Ducks in Anaheim? That'd be cool to see as well. Saturday night primetime between
between New England and Buffalo, hit that like button. Hey, if you believe that's gonna happen, absolutely hit that like button, guys. Again, if you haven't already hit that like button, hit that like button. Share this video. Again, not sure if we will be here for the whole game. Might leave at the end of the first period. Still got some stuff to take care of at the home before I can sit back, watch the game, and hopefully watch a Buffalo Sabres win. Always enjoy watching good Sabres hockey. I hope you guys do too. And also, always enjoy watching some good Buffalo Bills football. Have got a lot of that from the defensive side. Hope to see improvement on the offensive side. Bye week came at a good time to get healthy. Again, talking about Devin Singletary coming back healthy. Hopefully, Robert Foster come back healthy. Maybe we can utilize his speed, get some of those long balls between him and Josh Allen back like we had last year, and get some of those play calls back again. As Mario said, hashtag sports, even the threat of a Robert Foster makes the defense have to plan differently. And so we hope that Robert Foster is healthy and that he is able to run, a 4-3-40 or whatever it is, and just take the top off of defense. Maybe have one or two breakout plays the next few weeks just to kind of show that the Buffalo Bills can and still will go long if you leave that route open. Obviously, John Brown, a huge contributor so far for the Buffalo Bills. Cole Beasley, you do want to see him get more active in there, but again, he's doing his part. It's been a long time since that week 1 pop up where he popped it up to Mosley, and Mosley returned it for a touchdown in the third quarter of that New York, New Jersey Jets game that we came back to win, by the way. And I did tweet this afternoon, guys. Everyone's talking about how the Buffalo Bills haven't beaten anyone yet. We are the only team to beat a Sam Darnold-led Jets team so far this season. You talk about Sam Darnold going out with mono for a few weeks, has now beat the Dallas Cowboys. We don't know how good this Jets team can be when fully healthy. Remember, they did have a 16-point lead on us until C.J. Mosley went out. We don't know how good this Jets team can be when fully healthy. And so to know that right now we're the only team to have beaten Sam Darnold and the New York Jets, that's a good feather in the cap. And maybe the Jets will surprise some people on Monday by either giving the Patriots a game or just beating them outright. And now all of a sudden that win against that Jets team looks a little more impressive if that were to happen. So we'll see what happens this Monday night as the New England Patriots are home against the New Jersey Jets. But I don't expect to see them beat the Patriots. I do expect to see them keep it closer than 9 points, which is the current spread. If you want all my predictions, I posted that video earlier today with all my picks. I pick straight up. I pick against the spread. And if you listen to my record, not that good. I think I'm 52-40 or something like that against the straight up. It's not that good at all. Patriots don't like to play fair. They like to confront. Well, I mean, what's funny about that, if you didn't think the league showed favoritism to Tom Brady on the field, just look what happened off the field this season with Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady complains about all the holding calls he sees during a Thursday night game, and what happens the next half? The second half of that game, there's only there was like 10 in the first half. There's only 2 holdings in the whole second half. So, and then all of a sudden the holding calls have decreased week by week by week, game by game by game. All because Tom Brady tweeted something. And you can't say that there's anything more to it than just that. We didn't see anyone else do anything differently. We just saw Tom Brady tweet something, and all of a sudden, boom, the rules changed, right? The rules changed. All because Tom Brady tweeted something. Like, you gotta be kidding me. That's all it takes from Tom? Like, Tom, do some stuff. So if you think that favoritism or that much pull only happens off the field, you're wrong. You're wrong. It happens on the field too. Tyree Jackson made a team. Yes, spin. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Like I said, I wasn't planning on watching too much XFL football, but we'll definitely be watching Tyree Jackson with the DC Defenders in the XFL. I think that the XFL, I believe, is starting at the end of the football season. I think it's the week after the Super Bowl. The XFL starts in 2020, so they won't be interfering with the NFL, but neither was the AAF. And they didn't last that long, but definitely want to see Tyree Jackson, what he can offer in a game like the XFL. So that'll be a lot of fun. Dontrell Jackson, welcome to Billievers Talk. If you're new to the channel, again, guys, hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button, guys. Share it as we're watching the Sabres game, and we're keeping you up to date there. I think it's now, 8 minutes to go in the first period. Still 1-0. Buffalo, Jack Eichel with a goal. Again, Buffalo Sabres just shut out a team the last game they played. Looking for another shutout here. That'd be awesome. The XFL won't last
if it was competing with the NFL. Absolutely not. No league would last if it was competing with the NFL. I mean, I know we see college football, that's what I was looking for. College football doing well, but that's because they have their own day, right? Saturday is mostly a college football day. NFL doesn't start doing Saturday games until college football is over. Then you have the final 2 or 3 weeks of the season with Saturday night games in the NFL, and that's why Saturdays for college, Sundays for the pros. It works out pretty good. The only time you have issues is when you have that Thursday night game interfering with the college game. But normally the college football schedule makers are pretty smart not to have a marquee matchup during that time slot during the NFL regular season. I think week one this season they had a ranked team on there because the NFL season hadn't started yet. But normally they stay away from marquee games until either Friday night or Saturday, just to give it more watch time. As college football and the NFL share that spotlight. But yeah, there wouldn't be any days of the week really. What are you gonna do Wednesdays? You just wouldn't be enough days of the week for you to compete with the NFL. I think they should get rid of Thursday night football games. Spin, I've been saying that for a long time, and that's one of the reasons why my preview video is done Thursdays during halftime of Thursday night football. If you watch the channel, I rarely actually keep it to just the halftime. 15 minutes is not enough time for me to get out all I want to say about the game coming up, and it won't be again this week, as I'll probably go into the game a little bit, the second half of this Thursday night game, and that's just because I don't like watching them. At most of the time, they're just not competitive games. There are a few good ones. There are a few exceptions. There have been a few exceptions this year already. That Green Bay Eagles game was pretty good. The Rams Seattle game was pretty good. So there have been a couple good games on Thursday night this year so far. But for the most part, yeah, they're just boring games, and I just really don't look forward to them. So I wouldn't mind. But here's the problem: they're still making money, right? How much money would one of those games have made if it was on a Sunday slot at the same time as another game? So not only is that game making more money, but that Sunday afternoon game that normally wouldn't get as much views is getting more views because of that Thursday game. So it's just making more money for the NFL all around. And as we know, that's all that matters to the NFL. Player safety doesn't matter to the NFL as much as I like to make you believe. The only reason why player safety matters in the NFL is because they got sued. So if it wasn't for the lawsuit, they wouldn't care. We'd still be wearing leather helmets. They wouldn't care. Well, they'd still be wearing leather helmets. I don't play. Why it gives us more, we don't die of boredom. Well, some of us, remember this bye week? This bye week has been pretty tough. Still 1-0 in the Sabres game. Had another game on Monday. That week one doubleheader, I think that's always fun. I enjoy that. Now, do I enjoy that because it's only once a year, or would I enjoy that on a week-to-week basis? I don't know. That's a tough call. How would that work logistically for the NFL? I'm not sure about that either. But maybe you can add a Monday night game to the schedule, except for during the busiest bye weeks, right, when most teams have off. So maybe have a doubleheader every week, except for weeks 7, 8, and 9, I believe, would be the three busiest bye week weeks. But too many games, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Dentrell Jackson agrees. So again, guys, thank you for joining me. Been on here for about an hour now. Don't know if I'll be on here too much longer, but I wanted to join you guys for the start of the Sabres game. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first period, and the Sabres are up 1-0. A Jack Eichel goal. Want to talk a little bit about the Buffalo Bills as well. Always enjoy talking about Buffalo Bills football. See my poster, or whatever you guys picture, or whatever you want to call it behind me. I just always represent the Buffalo Bills. Look forward to going to the game on October 26th, I believe it is, against the Philadelphia Eagles. I look forward to being with Mario and Paul from Hashtag Sports on the Saturday before that, getting those autographs at the autograph session that they talk about on their channel, so you want to check them out. And again, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, you want to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, lets you know when we put out new content, constantly putting out new content. Again, every Monday we go live to do our post-game wrap-up of the game. Thursday, do our pregame. Wednesday, we show pick'em videos, and that's not to include when we go live or post videos with breaking news. Trade deadline, October 29th. So the trade deadline just around the corner, less than 2 weeks away. Are the Buffalo Bills interested in making any trades? There's still 2 weeks to go. And, I think the Buffalo Bills could really help out their cause with maybe getting a right guard, maybe a right tackle, get a little depth on that offensive line. But I think at this point, if the Buffalo Bills were to trade for a player, we would have done that before the bye week. Again, and this is barring injury, right? If someone gets injured, obviously that could change. But I think that we would have done it prior to our bye week to get him acclimated with the Bills. I think at this point, if the Buffalo Bills were to make a trade, it would be for draft capital. We would trade something away to get draft capital. Not knowing who we would trade away at this point, but that's what I'm thinking would happen. What about Diggs? I would love Bills going all the way. That would be awesome to see. And we'll be giving you play-by-play and reaction to every single game, either myself or hashtag Sports. So you want to stay tuned for that. That should be a good game. Which I'm sorry, Spin. Which game was I talking about? I don't even know. Which game? The Eagles game, maybe. What about Diggs? All right, so obviously we remember the rumors on Twitter, right? Everyone was talking about Diggs being in Buffalo, and all of a sudden there's tweets saying he was everywhere in Buffalo, and everyone was excited. The next day he shows up to Minnesota Vikings camp, and everything seems fine. Now, I'm not saying that Diggs won't be traded. I think that there still might be some hostility there. We saw Jalen Ramsey after he requested a trade play well for the Jacksonville Jaguars when he returned, so no reason to think that Diggs still can't be traded. I just don't think Buffalo is going to be the place. I feel like if we were going to trade for ours. Now, I talked about this on a previous episode as well. We did just sign Beasley, a wide receiver, to our practice squad, which means we again have 2 wide receivers on our practice squad. Now, why do we do that? Why would the coaching staff want 2 of a certain position on a practice squad unless they are still looking at talent, trying to acquire better talent or more talent at that position? So I think that's interesting. So maybe we do get a wide receiver. I just don't know if it's going to be Stephon Diggs. Again, Minnesota said they weren't interested in trading him. Now that could all be lip service because, again, you're not going to let the media know you're interested in trading somebody until there's a trade partner, and that you know that you can get rid of a guy. You're not just going to put it out there and all of a sudden you don't have a trade partner, and all of a sudden you have an unhappy player because he thought you guys didn't want him there to begin with. So I would be surprised if we got Stephon Diggs, but at the same time I wouldn't be surprised if we go after a wide receiver. Just knowing that there's 2 wide receivers on our practice squad makes it a little bit interesting. Bills don't have anyone they can trade away without replacing them. That's very possible. I mean, look at the depth of this team. I mean, I could very easily see us getting rid of Robert Foster, right? Robert Foster hasn't done much to help this team this year, so I could see us getting rid of Robert Foster. But if we got rid of Robert Foster, yes, we would need to bring in a speedy receiver, but that doesn't necessarily have to be via the trade, right? If we bring in Beasley, if we really like him, or if we pick up someone in the free agent market, pick up a draft pick for Robert Foster, those are all possibilities. I'm not saying that we wouldn't have to replace them, but there's other ways to replace someone other than via trade. We can replace someone, and we can get draft capital and then use other things to trade to replace him then too. So there are plenty of options out there. I think that it's very possible that Brandon Beane, and the good thing is we know that Brandon Beane is making the phone calls that he needs to make. He's probably talking with Coach McDermott. He's probably seeing what the Bills team could use in the trade market, and maybe they're like, no, we're good. Or maybe they're saying, hey, we could use this. And we know that Brandon Beane's making those phone calls. And the reason why we know that is because every time there's a reported rumor, every time there's a big player, we hear, oh, Brandon Beane, the Bills are interested. That doesn't necessarily mean the Bills are interested. That just means the Bills called. We go back to the Antonio Brown situation. Obviously, with the Antonio Brown situation, we know the Bills were interested. We know the Bills were interested early on in some other big name players. And Diggs was obviously a name brought up. AJ Green was a name brought up. So we know that they've been interested in players in the past. So we know that we can trust GM Brandon Beane to make the right phone calls when they feel like they need in addition, right? Now, that doesn't mean that a player's for sale that he doesn't know about, but we know he's doing his best to make those phone calls. I would trade him for Diggs, though. Well, I don't think they would trade Foster for Diggs straight up. I think Foster can be productive if healthy. He wasn't weeks 1 and 2, and he was healthy weeks 1 and 2. I hope you're right. I think that Foster can go back to the form he was at last year. But with the additions of Beasley and Brown, makes you wonder if the connection of Josh Allen to Foster was only as good as it was because he was Allen's best or favorite target. Now that he has 2 new targets, he's not targeting Foster as much, but you could say the same thing about Zay Jones, and look what happened to Zay Jones. So we'll see what happens there. We really don't need anyone. We should bring Wade out. Wade cannot be out of the practice squad. So since Wade had that international exemption, he's on the practice squad for the year. No one can touch him, but we cannot take him off that practice squad until next season. I know a lot of people loved Wade, but you think we would have brought him out after Murder got hurt if we could have brought him out. We can't bring him out. That's just one of the rules of that international player exemption thing. We get the 11th player, but we have to keep him there the whole year. So, I mean, that's the way I understand it, at least. So, there's no chance in us getting out Christian Wade until next season. I think Foster is really the only receiver Allen had any chemistry. Yeah, that's the thing. Allen only had chemistry with one receiver last year, so he's going to get the most targets. Also, he's going to equal the most receptions. Now that he has John Brown, who can be a speedy receiver on the other side, maybe he doesn't need that connection as much. So we'll see what happens there. So Spin's right. Wade can't be put on the 53-man roster until next season, and that really stinks just considering his age. Really good rugby player. Hopefully, rugby doesn't wear on you like the NFL does, because we know that once you hit 30 at the running back position, things tend to go downhill. Hopefully, that does not happen here. Keeping you up to date on the Sabres score, the Sabres did just score again, making it 2-0. Victor Olofsson gets his I think that's his sixth goal of the season. Yeah, sixth goal of the season, assisted by Reinhart and Skinner. So we talked about Skinner and Eichel earlier, and they both already have a point in this game. Sabres up 2-0 on the Anaheim Ducks. A great start for our Buffalo Sabres. No team can grab Wade off our practice squad. Spin's 100% right. No one can grab him, but we can't either. So he's on the practice squad now. Again, next year he can play on this team. Maybe next year we don't because I believe that Sonoris Perry and Andre Roberts both only signed a one. I think Andre Roberts was a 2-year contract. Now I think about it, but I think it was very team friendly. So if we I think Christian Wade's best. We did sign Sonoris Perry to the 53-man roster, so that might add to our running back depth a little bit. But that also, I was thinking about this. No one talked about maybe we added Sonoris Perry to our roster, not necessarily to assist in the running back game, but man, Andre Roberts really hasn't done a lot in the special team game, so maybe he's there to see if Andre Roberts picks up his game a little bit in the special teams guy. Again, the special teams. Sonoris Perry is a special teams specialist, and to see him maybe come in and then maybe do some work in special teams play, maybe then Andre Roberts becomes expendable, I should say, at that time. So I'm seeing that my video width is beginning to run low. My video output is beginning to run low. So if I lose you, I do apologize. But like I said, I've been on here for an hour. I do appreciate hanging out with you guys. But since the video input's low, maybe output's low, maybe that's a good time to call it quits. The Sabres again up. The Ducks just scored. There is a replay on the score. It looks like Jones with the score for the Ducks. So it is under replay review. So I'll stay on here until the replay is done, let you know if the goal is confirmed or not. But they're examining if there was offsides on the play. So obviously, if you don't watch NHL too much, as Anthony John just lets us know the Ducks scored. But if you don't watch hockey too much, they can now review offsides if you score while you're in the offensive zone. So they're reviewing that right now. Anthony John, maybe you'll know before I do what the review says. But as of right now, there is a goal by the Anaheim Ducks to cut into the lead in the first period with just under 2 minutes to go. The Buffalo Sabres still up on the Anaheim Ducks 2-1. So again, I'll look forward to watching the rest of that game. But again, I really enjoy hanging out with you guys on a Wednesday. Again, not normal for me to be on here on Wednesday, so I wasn't sure what to expect. So thank you for coming on here. And again, if you haven't subscribed already, guys, hit that subscribe button as I keep you updated on all breaking Buffalo Bills news. We'll keep you up to date on the Sabres, the Buttes, the Bandits, the Bulls, all Buffalo sports. We have it covered right here. We have it covered on Twitter. Go in the link below or the description below. Find my link to Twitter. Follow me on Twitter as well. I always look forward to hanging out with you guys, whether it be on a Monday, a Thursday, or even on a Sunday, or when I just randomly go live. Again, post my pick'em videos every Wednesday as well, so you can go check those out. But again, thank you for joining me for this impromptu live stream on Billievers Talk. We got robbed by Dallas. I don't even want to talk about this. See, now Anthony, now you make me come on here. You make me stay on here for that much longer. Yeah.
I still remember that game, game six, third overtime. So exciting, edge of the seat the whole time, just waiting for that goal. Dominik Hasek played amazing in that game, and to lose it that way, and then find out later, hey, there's a new rule in the NHL. It's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. He obviously broke the rule. I hate every single Hall in the world. I hate everyone who played on that Dallas team. I even disliked Lindy Ruff. I loved Lindy Ruff in Buffalo. When he went to coach in Dallas, I was like, I can't stand it. I just couldn't stand that he went to Dallas, and that's how badly I hold a grudge. Talk about Mike Modano, talk about Brett Hall. I don't care who you talk about. The whole team, all of them, they all stink. I think they robbed us. And the problem is my biggest problem with it is it was game six. The Stars had 3 games to 2 lead on us. I just wanted them to win it legitimately. If they would have won it on a slap shot from the point that got deflected, went in, like it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that just had me so upset. I mean, I think I was more upset at that play than I was at the Music City forward pass, even though they both happened close to each other. I think they're only a year and a half apart. I was more upset about that play than I was the Music City forward pass, and that tells me how mad I was because I was pretty mad about the Music City forward pass as well. So we'll see what happens though. Again, off to a good season for the Sabres, 5-0-1, currently up 2-1 on the Ducks. The play did stand as a goal, so never forget. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We never forget those things. I look forward to talking to y'all soon. Oh, show it. It's funny. Sometimes YouTube they do that. They ask you if they hold things for review, and it's just some of it's ridiculous. But it was Anthony. It absolutely was. If it wasn't as early in the morning as it was, I probably would have been louder about it. But I had people in the house sleeping, so I feel like I would have gotten loud because I'm a young guy. So you can imagine how young I was back then. I wasn't old enough to be up at 2 in the morning, let alone yelling obscenities that wake people up in the house. So, but it is what it is at this point. Obviously, I still hold a grudge a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, the Sabres won't let that happen again. Again, Sabres still up 2-1 here. I look forward to talking to you all soon again, guys. I'll be live tomorrow during halftime of Thursday Night Football. Make sure you join me for that. I look forward to seeing you then. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.